Hey, what's going on, everybody? Folsom is an amazing place to live. It's cheaper, it's packed with insane amenities, and to top it off, you have smart electricity, which literally saves you a crazy amount of money. So the main question is why do some people choose to pay way more just to live 10 minutes up the hill in El Dorado Hills? In this video, we're going to dissect just that. We're going to dissect why those insane price tags of El Dorado Hills might just be worth it to you. It could be the amazing schools. It could be the really spacious lots that Folsom just doesn't have. Stick around to find out the verdict. You guys, I'm Gilbert Caston. I'm a local real estate advisor, but most importantly, I am a very proud girl dad. Yes, indeed. And as you can see, I'm a Niner fan. Yes, indeed. Let's start with the numbers because this is wild. In Folsom, the median home price that was sold was somewhere around 775K. You flip that to El Dorado Hills, the median sold price was anywhere between 1 million, with the average home price being around a million to 1.1. Now, you can definitely find houses in El Dorado Hills that are cheaper than that, but that's just the average house that's sold. So that's a massive difference. And if you buy in Folsom, you definitely can save that extra money. So on paper, it's a no-brainer. Folsom is cheaper, convenient, and it has an awesome community. So what's going on? What does El Dorado Hills that makes it make sense for people to be so willing to spend so much more? That's exactly what we're going to find out in this video today. So stay tuned. You guys, I want to be completely transparent. I haven't spent money on a teleprompter or anything like that. I definitely have some some words right behind me on the screen that I'm looking at. But as time comes on and I start building my channel, yeah, I might get fancy to buy a teleprompter. But you guys are going to take me for who I am. Yee! Now, before we go any further, I want to make one thing clear. We are not bashing Folsom in this video whatsoever because Folsom is an A+ S-tier community. And for a ton of people, it is 100% the right choice. The energy in Folsom is absolutely electric. You've got the historic vibe of Old Town Folsom with insane restaurants and farmers markets, and then bam, you go right down the road and you have the Palladio, which literally has everything to offer, including not only just a very nice movie theater, but an adult-only movie theater that's incredible too, that I like to go to. Yes, indeed. And of course, you talk about the utilities here. Folsom is on SMUD. And SMUD, you are going to save so much money having SMUD as your utility provider as compared to PG&E, which is up in El Dorado Hills. People living in Folsom who use SMUD save anywhere between 25 to 40% from what people spend in El Dorado Hills while using PG&E. That's insane. That's just a crazy financial advantage you just can't ignore. So with a lower price, incredible amenities, great schools, and way cheaper electricity, Folsom seems like the obvious winner when it comes to picking between Folsom and El Dorado Hills. But check this out though. Buying a house, especially for help or home, isn't just about logic. It's about emotion. It's about lifestyle, and it's about that feeling you get when you drive into your neighborhood. And this is where El Dorado Hills enters the chat and changes the entire game. You guys, I've lived in El Dorado Hills for the past 3 years coming from the Bay Area, and there's literally nothing like it. Everything about it is just amazing. Yes, I'm biased, but there are parts of Folsom I absolutely love too. So I'm not knocking Folsom at all. This definitely is a tough decision, but stay tuned. Despite all of Folsom's advantages, people are knowingly and consistently paying a huge premium just to live in El Dorado Hills. My clients do it, and I would do it myself. I have done it myself, and here's why. You aren't just buying a house. You're buying a completely different life. You're paying for three things that El Dorado Hills delivers in a way Folsom just can't. You got insane amounts of space. You got a different kind of school system and a pace of life that's just quieter. Literally, if you look at the tail between the two, Folsom is a lot more congested. There's a lot more traffic when entering the city of Folsom. Compared to El Dorado Hills, you're getting a lot more space, spaced out lots, but most importantly, you're not getting that congestion as you drive through the town of El Dorado Hills. The first and most insane difference is the land itself. Folsom has beautiful neighborhoods, but a lot of them, especially the newer ones, are high density. And yes, indeed they are. The lots are smaller and the houses are packed close together. In El Dorado Hills, the first thing you notice is the space. Giant lots are way more common, which creates a level of privacy you can actually feel. And that is the truth. A lot of Folsom is built from newer homes. Those newer homes are stacked right on top of each other. As compared to El Dorado Hills, you get more of those established neighborhoods where the houses are a lot more separated from each other. Now, you definitely do have those homes, especially in Toronto, Blackstone, and some of the newer development areas in El Dorado Hills, where you do have houses stacked upon each other too. I've lived on the north side of El Dorado Hills and the south side. The difference is on the north side of town, in more of the established neighborhood, you get more separation from your neighbors as compared to Blackstone, where I am now, on the south side of 50, where your neighbors are really, really close to you. The space isn't just about having a bigger backyard, it changes the entire vibe of the community. The roads are wider and they wind through these incredible rolling hills. The homes are often custom or semi custom, especially in these epic gated communities like Toronto and Blackstone. That means you get more variety and less of that cookie cutter look, and that is true. You're literally paying for the views, the giant oak trees, and the feeling that you're living in the foothills, not just another suburb. It feels like a retreat. And for a lot of people, that feeling of serenity is worth every single penny. Now, once again, Folsom has neighborhoods that compare exactly to El Dorado Hills. If you go down Empire Ranch in Folsom, there comes a time where you're going down, I believe it's Sophia. I believe it's Sophia, when you have Empire Ranch and you could throw a rock right into El Dorado Hills. You get some of the same similarities when it comes to neighborhoods and having those nice houses that are spaced out. So there are parts of Folsom that literally you can walk across the street to El Dorado Hills and the neighborhoods are pretty equal. Now let's go and we talk about the educational edge that El Dorado Hills has. Now let's talk schools. This is interesting because both Folsom and El Dorado Hills have top rated incredible schools. You literally cannot go wrong with either place. Folsom has the Folsom Cordova Unified School District, which is huge, high performing districts with amazing schools like Vista del Lago, which is always one of the best in the entire region. The difference and the secret reason some families only look at El Dorado Hills is the structure. Most of El Dorado Hills is served by smaller, super local elementary and middle school districts like Buckeye Union and Rescue Union. These tiny districts then feed on to El Dorado Union High School District, which has the legendary Oak Ridge High School, and a lot of parents feel these smaller, tight-knit districts offer a crazy sense of community and more personal attention. They feel more like the neighborhood schools. Oak Ridge is an absolute powerhouse known for its insane academics and its dominant sports teams. This desire for the small districts feel as if it's a huge driver of home prices. Families will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars more for a house just to live in these school districts and to get into these specific school systems, and that is correct. It's a subtle but critical reason that prices are so insane. So when moving to El Dorado Hills, I will say that the number one factor that a lot of people move here is the school systems. But let me say that to say this is that all of the schools between Folsom and El Dorado Hills are really good. I come from the Bay Area where it's hit or miss depending on the region that you live in. So you really can't go wrong. Now, if you live in El Dorado Hills, everybody is driven to send their kid directly to Oak Ridge, and people forget about the Ponderosa High School. Now, since living here for the last 3 years, I have heard so many good things on how parents have sent their kids to Ponderosa High School, and it has been their biggest blessing. Okay, so if you're moving to El Dorado Hills and you're moving to El Dorado Hills because you've heard so many things about Oak Ridge, yeah, absolutely correct. That is 100% accurate. But do not second guess Ponderosa, because a lot of people are saying when you start living here that their kid has a better fit and a better place being at a Ponderosa High School as compared to Oak Ridge. Now, as compared to Folsom, Folsom has really good schools too. Vista del Lago, Folsom High are really, really awesome schools to send your kids to. Folsom also has newer elementary schools and newer middle schools, so you really can't go wrong. But definitely, if you were to put the tell between the takes of the two different, or one city, one town, Folsom and El Dorado Hills, a lot more people would say that they chose El Dorado Hills because of the elite school system that El Dorado Hills has, but don't disregard Folsom at all. If you're finding this breakdown helpful for figuring out where you fit, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It seriously helps the channel and tells me I'm making videos you actually care to listen to. Finally, let's talk about the vibe here, okay? Folsom has this awesome nonstop energy. This is always something happening, an event in the historic district, a concert at the Harris Center, or just a crazy atmosphere at the Palladio on a Friday night, which is true. It's a city with a serious pulse. El Dorado Hills has a completely different rhythm. The lifestyle is way quieter and more residential. The evenings are just calm. Social life is all about your neighborhood, like private parks and clubhouses in communities like Serrano, local youth sports, or the El Dorado Hills Town Center. It's less busy. It's less busy and all about the busy center, like the town center, which is like our main attraction when it comes to El Dorado Hills. It comes down to this one choice. Do you want to be in the middle of the action with more restaurants, more shopping, and more giant events? That's Folsom. Or are you willing to drive an extra minutes to get to it? To be in like the more quiet of a system like El Dorado Hills happen. Now, here's my take on this, aside from my writing. Folsom definitely has more activity. It has more energy when it comes to just more things to do. The difference between Folsom and El Dorado Hills is that Folsom activities stay up later. You cross over to El Dorado Hills, everything is shut down by 8 or 9 o'clock. So you're definitely getting a lot quieter lifestyle. You're getting way less nighttime activity. So if you want more of that energy and to be closer to being around places that stay open later, if that is very important to you, then Folsom definitely takes the cake on that. If being more quieter, if you like the restaurant vibes, and if your night shuts down by 8 or 9 o'clock anyway, then El Dorado Hills is definitely the place to you. Okay, so let's address the cost and the kilowatts, okay? Let's talk about the two biggest arguments against EDH. The insane costs and PG&E is literally a problem. The median sold price in El Dorado Hills is almost $1 million, while Folsom is in the high 700Ks. That's a real number. But like we said, you're not just paying for square footage. You're investing in bigger lots, hillside views, a different school system, and a quieter life. For the right person, that's not a cost. It's a value proposition. And now the elephant in the room is utilities. Living in El Dorado Hills can get expensive, and the number one way you can fight PG&E is if you have solar. I've lived in a house that didn't have solar, and I've lived in a house that did have solar. One bill for the house when I didn't have solar was anywhere between $400 to $600 a month. That's without solar, living in El Dorado Hills on the north side of town in Governor's Village. On the south side of town, when I lived in Blackstone, I had solar, and my PG&E bill was somewhere around $180 to $200 in the winter. But that's only because I had a gas furnace, and gas started to get way more expensive. Okay, the difference between utility costs is a thing. SMUD is about 25 to 40% cheaper in Folsom than it is El Dorado Hills. So if costs, expenses monthly is a thing to you, and you're weighing out the difference between Folsom and El Dorado Hills, Folsom definitely takes the cake on that. However, you could definitely challenge Folsom just a tad bit if you find a house with two important qualities. Number one, solar, but number two, a really high efficient insulated house. When I lived in my house in Governor's Village that didn't have solar, we also had poor insulation. So our thermostat consistently ran. It ran damn near like the Olympics. So if you're weighing utilities out between Folsom and El Dorado Hills, definitely look at houses in El Dorado Hills, or at least have a plan to have some sense of getting solar at some point. They definitely have all those programs where you can lease solar, even though I highly do not suggest that. I suggest it maybe if and only if that's going to be your forever home. You're never doing anything like that. But when you go lease solar, remember, there becomes a lien on your property for that solar. So it's better to own the solar outright. But definitely, if you're looking at El Dorado Hills, own solar, have solar. If you're looking for a cheaper monthly cost, absolutely Folsom takes the cake on that. So, the final verdict. Who is El Dorado Hills really for? So who wins the battle? The truth is, there isn't a winner. They both are amazing locations, and you're winning just making the jump, moving from wherever you're moving to these two different locations. And Folsom, if you ask me, I really like the south side of Folsom. And the reason why I like the south side of Folsom a lot better than the north side of Folsom is because the south side isn't as congested yet. You could get around a lot more smoother on the south side of Folsom than you can the north side. North side has a lot more traffic. It's a lot more congested, a lot more stop signs and stoplights and etc. However, if you live on the south side, it definitely is going to take you a lot longer to get over to some of the key amenities on the north side of town when it comes to Folsom. When it comes to El Dorado Hills, it's the opposite. I prefer living on the north side of El Dorado Hills because that's where you're going to find a lot more of your established neighborhoods. The south side are a little bit newer developed neighborhoods, and I never realized how much actual established neighborhoods meant to me, like just having more trees and or more mature trees, I should say, and just having that sense of neighborhood that I grew up with coming from Marin County. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking about making a move and you're looking for cost effective and being around more energy, being around a place that has a lot more restaurants, a lot more nightlife, Folsom is definitely going to take the cake. If you're looking for a neighborhood that's going to be quieter, it's going to be, you're still going to have a lot of events, but it's going to be all about the daytime, baby, not so much the nighttime. If you're all about the quiet lifestyle, you're looking for more of a spacious lots, more established neighborhoods when it comes to trees and etc. like that. Now, Folsom does have that too, but that quieter pace goes to El Dorado Hills for sure. I hope this helped you in making whatever decision that you're set to make. If I could be any help in the future, definitely book a call with me. I'd love to go over all my experiences living here so far, making the move from the Bay Area, coming here. I definitely have a lot to offer when it comes to just advice. You guys have a blessed day. I'll see you on the next video. Like and subscribe. Stop playing with me. Yes, indeed.